Is your mindset stopping you from taking political action? Recently, I've talked to dozens of new leftists, and most of them were falling victim to the same limiting beliefs that will wreck your mental health, waste your time, and kill your political impact. So today, I'm going to talk you through the 5 stages of my political journey and show you how I overcame my limiting beliefs that you probably have too, using some mental models that took me from inactive to organized in the span of just a few months. Limiting belief number 1, I don't need to get involved. Now, you might think that this doesn't apply to you. Oh yeah, I take my politics super seriously. Let's be brutally honest. If you're not a member of a political organization or involved in any political work, you're not really a leftist. You're a consumer, just like everyone else. If this hits a little too close to home, I'm not here to judge you. I'm calling you out precisely because I've been there and I know that I'd have benefited from a wake-up call back then. If you're watching this video, it means you know the truth about capitalism, about climate change, about the very real threat of fascism. And now that you know this, you have a decision to make. You can walk away from politics, ignore what you've seen, you can try to live a normal life, you can try to stay dry as the tide rises, you can try to not make trouble. Or you could stand up, you could fight. You could take action. Obviously, I'd rather have you by my side, but I can't blame you if you'd rather forget about all this. The problem is that we got a lot of leftists who want it both ways. We got a lot of leftists who act like they're revolutionaries because they hang out on Discord and watch video essays all day. And if you're one of those people, I hate to bust up your patty cake circle, but here's a fact. If you want to talk the talk, you better be ready to walk the walk. If you're not serious about making change, then this channel isn't for you. And frankly, I would advise you to forget about politics and pick up baseball or crochet or something, because politics is just going to stress you out, okay? This isn't a game. Get in or get out. I know some people are going to call this harsh. I just call it honest. Limiting belief number 2, I don't have what it takes. Once you get over your apathy and accept the fact that you need to take action, a new fear may arise. What if I'm not good enough? What can I really do? Do I have what it takes to save the world? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. You probably don't have what it takes right now, but that's okay. Think about it this way. Every leader you look up to, whether it be Angela Davis, Che Guevara, MLK, etc., was once uninformed. They were once apathetic or cynical, perhaps. They were once scared. They were certainly inexperienced. Leaders aren't born, they're made. So if you don't feel like you've got it, that's fine. Because guess what? All the aspects of effective organizing, public speaking, logistics, leadership, theoretical knowledge, discipline, strategic thinking, courage, these are skills, and skills can be learned. Virtues can be cultivated. So anytime your brain tells you you're not good enough, you can't do it, just tell yourself, maybe not. Maybe I don't have what it takes right now. Maybe I'm not skilled right now. But if you commit to moving in the right direction and putting in the work on a regular basis, it won't matter. It won't matter because you'll know that you'll eventually gain those skills. But in order to gain those skills, you have to give yourself permission to suck at first, because if you don't start, you'll suck forever. Limiting belief number 3, wrong place, wrong time. Once you commit to doing political work, you'll typically encounter a 3rd layer of resistance. And this resistance can be very sneaky because it will hide behind practical concerns. If you've ever told yourself something like this, there's no political organizations in my area, I don't have time to organize, I'm not ready to start organizing yet, then you're battling limiting belief number 3. Look, I won't lie to you. Organizing is going to be hard. Life is going to get in the way. You are always going to have constraints. Your job is to acknowledge these constraints and then figure out a way to achieve your mission anyway, rather than using your limitations as an excuse to give up your objective. In life, if you want something bad enough, you're going to find a way to do it, full stop. But it's not going to be easy. Nothing good in life comes without struggle. That being said, if you're looking for an easier way to find organizations, build basic skills, connect with like-minded people, then stick around till the end of this video. I designed a tool that's going to make that process much easier for you. So now that I've set expectations, let me give you some practical advice, because I understand that just yelling at you to figure it out may not be that helpful. I understand that your life circumstances may genuinely make it very difficult to organize. I've talked to people who work nights, and so they can't attend meetings regularly. I've talked to people in rural areas whose options are severely limited. I've talked to people who are straight up just not old enough to join political organizations. If you're in similar circumstances, you may need to get creative. For example, I know for a fact that most organizations would love to have somebody help out with administrative work remotely. So if you're not able to make it to in-person meetings for whatever reason, it's definitely worth reaching out to the local chapter of whatever your organization you're interested in. I would really encourage you to try and find a way to still get organized. However, joining an organization is not the only way to get politically active. I do think it's the gold standard. I would love for you to be involved in person with a political organization for many reasons, but I do want you to know that you have options if you need to fend for yourself. So if you find yourself genuinely unable to contribute to real-life organizations for whatever reason, I would encourage you to enter into a period of planned self-development. This means focusing on volunteering and doing community service work, training to become physically and mentally strong and healthy, reading and educating yourself, seeking out people who you can have good conversations with and who share your values, etc. I think self-improvement has gotten a bad name in leftist spaces, I guess, because it tends to be very individualistic, very capitalist, often very politically backwards. But at the same time, I do think we do well to put more emphasis on building healthy habits. Because if you don't have a baseline of skills and knowledge and your life is falling apart, then you're probably not going to be a very good organizer. However, you need to go into this period with the expectation that you will get involved as soon as the opportunity presents itself. And you need to be actively and consistently looking for those opportunities. Otherwise, you're just going to be back where you started, spinning your wheels kind of. So if you do choose to go into this period and the time's not right for you to join an organization, think of it like basic training. You are getting ready for deployment. That's your task. Limiting belief number 4. Organizing is too scary. It sounds silly, but it's real, okay? Let me explain. At this stage, you've committed to organizing, you've done the work to scope out organizations operating in your area, and you've picked one out that suits your personal situation and your ideological position. At this point, when you're about to take the leap, the 4th horseman of resistance will rear its ugly head. I remember my first DSA meeting. It wasn't even a meeting, it was just like a casual get-together in a coffee shop, and it was specifically set up to give new people an opportunity to meet members of the organization. I couldn't have dreamed up a more low-pressure chance to get involved. And yet, when the day came, I was kind of nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. And I know that's not cool of me to admit. Grown man over here, intimidated by strangers. He doesn't want to go into a coffee shop and have a conversation, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And I don't think we talk about this enough. One of the biggest barriers to organizing is simply the social friction it takes to put yourself out there. So if this applies to you, I'll give you some quick strategies and mindsets to kind of get over this hump. First, bring a friend. Chances are you know at least one like-minded person who you could reach out to and say, hey, I'm looking at this organization. It looks cool. Let's go check it out. This way, you'll always have somebody to talk to, okay? Takes the edge off a little bit. Second, remember that it's totally normal to feel uncomfortable when you're outside your comfort zone. In fact, a little bit of stress is actually good because it means you're growing. Third, just know that the friction you feel when you're kind of going into this new situation, it will ease with time. It may only take one meeting, or it might take a couple meetings, or it might take months. But I can guarantee that if you stick with it, it will get easier. You'll find friends within the organization. You'll find tasks that suit your abilities. You'll start to feel proud of your work. And that's a good feeling. For me personally, like I said, I was nervous going in, but now I actually look forward to organizing. Once you start seeing your work pay off, it becomes almost like addicting. It's a game that you're playing and you're getting better at. I promise you'll get there if you just keep going. Limiting belief number 5, organizing doesn't do anything. At this stage, you've joined an organization and you've started to do some work. Resistance is part of any productive task that we engage in as humans, and organizing is no different. When you start doing organizing work, it might feel like you're doing too much and not enough at the same time. 70% of it, at least in my experience, will literally just be logistics. Keeping track of chapter finances, coordinating rides, sending out emails, booking venues. This is the work that needs to happen to make the work happen, if that makes any sense. This is the work that makes building political power possible. That can kind of make it easy to miss the forest for the trees. It can be easy to feel like you're spinning your wheels. Here's the thing, you might be spinning your wheels, you might be wasting your effort. That is totally possible. Maybe your organization needs to take a new direction. So you need to develop your leadership skills. Maybe you need to join or start a different organization. So you need to do more research and start thinking about what sorts of structures will most effectively bring about the change you want to see. Maybe the conditions that you're organizing within just aren't ideal. And so you're going to need to spend a couple of years just sharpening your skills and building capacity so that you can seize the moment when it arrives. These are all valid possibilities, but they're possibilities that can only be explored properly by somebody already doing the work. These questions cannot be answered by armchair strategists on forums. You only need to do one thing to beat this last form of resistance. Stay in the game. Before you leave, I have an offer that might interest you. I know how hard it is to be like a new leftist and want to actually make a difference. It's a struggle to get educated, to connect with real-life organizations, to improve your political skills when you're on your own and you're just kind of trying to figure it out by yourself. So for the past 2 months, I've been on a mission to build a tool to make that process easier. And I'm pleased to announce that I've officially launched that platform. It's called Vanguard. Vanguard is a user-run platform designed specifically to help you make connections, learn the basic skills to become a capable organizer, link up with real-life projects in your area, and generally lower the barrier of entry for leftists who are ready to make real change. I truly believe it's the best way to get off the internet and start your political journey in the real world, and I want you to experience it for yourself. Click the first link in the description to become a Vanguard member today. I hope to see you there. A better world is possible.